Is it Travelgate? Is that taking it a little bit too far? Or is it just people looking for politicians to become accountable?
Hello everyone, it's Rod Phillips, the MPP from Ajax. On this Christmas Eve, I want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas. Now I know that this Christmas is a bit different than Christmases in the past. We're meeting virtually and online and not able to be in person with as many family and friends as we'd like to.
What happened for Rod Phillips, Ontario's finance minister, is an elaborate system where the minister tried to share all these tweets and a video while he was in St. Bart's in the Caribbean. The stories started to fall apart over the Christmas holiday season. While people were on lockdown, they were taking to social media, taking to Twitter, starting to put things together. And it didn't take very long before Travelgate, or what some are calling a media witch hunt, began. Now, across the country, we have politicians who've traveled. While they've been telling us not to travel, to stay at home, to not be out there in public, it's a case again of one rule for us and one rule for them. And that probably is what's generated all of this anger and frustration from people across the country. On New Year's Day, Jason Kenney, the Premier of Alberta, called for a news conference. The Premier showed up an hour late and then proceeded to say that nothing was going to be done about members of his government and his staff, including his Chief of Staff who traveled to the United Kingdom, would be done.
Completely shutting down travel would result not only in tens of thousands of more job losses, but would likely result in the financial collapse of Canada's airline industry, which is an essential part of a modern economy. For Alberta, that is particularly the case for WestJet. If all or almost all travel was to be suspended, I do not believe that WestJet could survive. The risks of transmission while traveling are, quotes, extremely rare, in the words of the head of the Public Health Agency of Canada, Dr. Theresa Tam. Recent studies concluded by Harvard University and the U.S. Department of Defense have both concluded that air travel has, this past year, during COVID, has been a less significant source of viral transmission than regular day-to-day activities like going to a grocery store.
Alberta's been running a lot of spots on YouTube telling people to stay home. But as you can see with Premier Kenney, unless they're traveling to Hawaii on WestJet, stay home.
Uncle Mike, how you doing? Oh, wow!
So what does this all mean? Is Travelgate too strong a term? Gate does get applied to a lot of things. It started with Watergate. Now, when it comes to COVID-19, the real story here is that we're asking the government, as citizens of the country, very simply, to do what you tell us to do. Be in it with us together. Don't give us these Winston Churchill type attitudes about we're all in it together when you're not. It's just that simple. In Ontario, there's going to be political fallout. We don't know if other cabinet ministers or other MPPs, MLAs, or MPs have traveled yet. The hashtag Where is Trudeau was trending all New Year's Day because people hadn't seen the Prime Minister. Now, I'll give it to him. He needs a day off. He's working hard, as I believe all the premiers are, and they're not at our beck and call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But it really means become more accountable. And at one time, right now, heading into COVID-19 2021, it's the time. This is James with Net News Ledger, reporting from Thunder Bay, Ontario. To keep up to date on news, weather, sports across Western and Northern Ontario and beyond across Canada, subscribe to Net News Ledger. Visit the website, www.netnewsledger.com, and we promise we'll keep you up to date and informed.